Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti Blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with Blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So, to the Black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you. And I see you. Simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for: to be seen and to be appreciated for all that they do.
You know what doesn't get talked about enough is the fact that the first several waves of Cubans that came to this country, like we're talking 57, 58, 59, all the way to like 1980, that massive amount of Cubans that came over here, they brought over here their bigotry, their classism, their admiration for forms of corruption. They brought here the same conditions that led to Castro's revolution in 1959. They created that same stuff here. That's why Miami is so impossibly corrupt. That's why we don't have anything that benefits the people here. That's why our politicians and our leaders systematically chop the city up into bits and sell it to the highest bidder, namely developers and like people from other countries. And do you think that we get anything out of any of this? No, the people that live here, no, we don't get anything. It's the same shit that was happening in Cuba that led to the revolution. And meanwhile, there's this whole other group of Latinos, some Cuban, but many not, and of other people who are fucking sick and tired of it. We are so sick and tired of it. We have no public transportation systems. We're stuck in traffic all day, working these shitty ass jobs that barely pay us, mostly in the service industry, with people who treat us like shit. Those are our lives, and we're so fucking sick and tired of it. We're all living in multi-generational homes because none of us can actually afford a place on our own. Estos fucking cubanazos that have been in power for fucking ever and have taken this city to ruin have never cared about this place. They have never cared. They care about their pocketbooks. They don't care about this city and the beauty that has been there and the beauty that has been lost. They don't give a shit, and they need to get the fuck out. Get them out of office. Get them out of leadership positions. They need to go in order for us to actually have a functioning city that works for us and for our future generations. They need to fucking get out of power. Where's a black mayor? Have we had a black mayor in Miami? Meanwhile, black people built this fucking city. Built this city. Former slaves and Bahamians who came over built this city, and we have no fucking representation at the top tiers of the city from that community. Get the fuck out of here. We need people in charge who actually love this place and care about this place and will develop it in a way that works for all. Not for only the ultra rich. That's what this city is for. It's for the ultra rich. Mangroves have been chopped down. Manatees have died. Entire forests have been felled for these people. Our water is more and more and more polluted. Our traffic is worse and worse and worse for these people who have multiple homes and so many assets that when a hurricane hits or when something happens, they can literally just collect the insurance money and go live in their house in the Hamptons, or maybe in their apartment in Dubai, or maybe in their penthouse unit in Tel Aviv. That's who our Cuban fucking leaders have sold our city to. People who are not invested in this place. They don't care. They can just leave. They come here to play around. Are you sick of it? Because I'm sick of it. And if all the people who are sick of it start coming together, there might be more of us than there are of them.
Hey lovelies, welcome back to Afrojudy. I hope you all are doing great and fine wherever you are watching this video from. Some of the Miami Cubans right now are coming out and admitting the fact that anti-blackness has existed within their community for quite a long period of time, and also that some of their people align to the whiteness so bad to an extent that they also racially profile the Afro Latinos, and that they have segregated themselves from the Afros who live in Miami. So guys, without further ado, let's dive in straight to the video. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you're coming across the channel for the very first time.
Us as Latinos, I've noticed that we're willing to accept white people in our family, but not black people. Most of the time we prefer white people over black people. Really any other nation more than a black person. What I mean is, a mother's daughter has a white boyfriend, they would happily welcome him more than if she had a black boyfriend. Most of the time there's a stereotype within the Hispanic household about black people, right? That they're criminals, they're gang members, they're violent, they're someone you should fear. When really, we should look at white people that way, because white people are the ones who actually are harming us right now. Yes, they're Hispanics who are in those ICE trucks, ICE vans, but they have been put in place by the oppressor. The same people who descend from the people who took your land, put your forefathers in slave ships, stole your identity, gave you the terms Latino, Hispanic. The people who descend from those people, they're oppressing you today. And their forefathers oppressed your forefathers back in the day. So what is my point? We need to deny any nation but our own. As black Latinos and natives, we are the same people. We should unite, we should come together, and we should marry one another. If your daughter wants to get with a so-called African American, of course, you want to make sure that he's a good fit. You should allow that. If your son wants to get with an African American sister, make sure she is fit and allow that. And same thing for so-called black people. Same thing for your daughters and your sons who want to get with natives or so-called Hispanic. You should allow that, because that's going to make us unite. That's going to make us stronger. And people might say, well, black people hate Hispanics. Hispanics hate black people. Listen, the reason why we are hurting each other is because we're oppressed by the same person who's causing stress, who's causing chaos, who's causing poverty in our lives. And when we are going through stress and anger, we get violent. And who are we going to get violent with? the people who live among us. We live amongst each other. You understand? But the people who we should really be upset with, and who we should point the finger at, is our oppressor. And we should never point the finger at each other. We should come together, resolve our problems, get over grudges, get over division amongst each other, and really come together as a community. Get off of drugs. Go against drugs. Go against drug dealers. Go against our daughters being whores and prostitutes and sleeping around. And really lock in and build as a community where men can be men, women can be women, and we'll rise to the top. And that's what the Most High, our God, wants for us. He wants us to get right, to fix ourselves, to cleanse ourselves. This is from the ISUPK and the Commander General Hana. This is what we teach. This is what we promote, because this is what the Bible teaches. You understand? If you want to learn more, go to isupk.com. Find a school near you. Shalom.
You will never be white. As much as you, a fellow Latino, wants to be in proximity to whiteness, you will never be white. You will never be chosen in that way. As much as you think that you are better than undocumented Latinos because your family came here the right way, or because you're second generation or third generation, or because you either forgot or unaware of the foundation of this country and the fact that immigrants from Europe came here, stole the land from indigenous people, and then literally stole people, and forced them to be slaves, forced them to do labor. So when you think that you want to be in proximity to whiteness because you consider yourself better, think about that. Think about that there is internalized racism in our own community, how there is anti-blackness in our own community, how there is colorism in our own community. Think about those things, because no human being is better than the other because they think that because they have papers that they are better than another human being. A human being is a human being. There is no alien. There is no illegal when it comes to the world, okay? So let me remind you that you will never be white. Oh my gosh, who said that? Who said it? Who said that?
Now that I have addressed the racism within my own community, let's talk about the anti-blackness that exists within the Latin American communities. So I wanted to take my time before I made this video. I knew it was coming, but I had to go out in, the field and ask my people what's going on. So this is what I concluded. When I went to go talk to them, they said that, we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something. I want to make two things clear. First, I want to start off by saying that when we say things like this, we are following the same agenda that we are fighting against. We are fighting against white supremacy and racism. Those ideas that, that we have, the way we think, the way we are taught to fear African Americans, that is the same thing that we are fighting against. It's no different. When we choose to speak like this and participate in these stereotypes, we are no better than the people we are fighting against. And that is a point I want to make very clear to the people within my community, that you guys sound ignorant. We need to figure it out. Where do you truly stand with this? Because, people are right. You can't ask African Americans for help when this is in the real world. That is how they are treated. My second point. Reparations are owed to the African American community. Without them, we would not be able to vote. We would not be able to go to the same schools. We would not be able to sit wherever we want. Let's not forget. They have been fighting for a very long time, since they came here. And us not acknowledging, I know I don't feel that as a country we have paid the respect that they owe. They really do. We owe them everything. It's because of greats. They're great people. You know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panthers, they paved the way for us. They are the blueprint. And for us to go and participate in the same mentality that we are fighting against, it's just horrible. And it's wrong. If we don't fix this type of mentality and check our people, we are no better than the people we are up against. I want you to know that ignorance is our greatest enemy. So please do not allow yourself to be blinded by hate. I love and respect everybody, and I just want to say that if there's more people in the Latin community who are with me, I need y'all to say something. I need y'all to join the fight with me, because I can't be the only one.
All right, guys, welcome back. Right now, some people might start saying that if we say that there is anti-blackness that has existed within the Cuban communities in Miami, then it's like attacking them. No, it's not attacking them, because so many people have known that there is anti-blackness that has existed within the Cuban community in Miami for quite a long period of time, but only a few people really want to admit that it's true. And that is the main reason as to why these Cubans and the Latinos came out and said that they have been racist towards the black people. They have been racist towards the Afros. And admitting that is not easy to some people. And in fact, it requires courage and boldness for you to admit that you are racist towards a group. And it happens within the first and the second generation of the Cubans in Miami. Some of them always say that black people are disrespectful and lazy. That's why they really don't want to align with the black people, and they only want to align with whiteness. And that is the main reason as to why they're also racist towards some of the Afro Latinos. And the fact that one of the Latino came here and started telling his own community that if you continue aligning yourself to whiteness, there is no way that they will favor you. There is no way that your skin color will make you to be white. Some of them always knew that if they support the orange man, that the orange man will consider them as good people. Like, for instance, last year, you remember how many, like, what percentage of Latinos and Cubans voted for the orange man? Then when deportation started, they started crying out. When I started raiding some of them in Los Angeles, they started calling and asking the black community to stand out in solidarity with them, to a point that some of them were breaking down on the social media, asking black people, why is it that you guys really don't want to stand in solidarity with us? Why don't you come out and help us in protesting? And some of the Latinos, especially those who have been uh, Democrats for quite a long period of time, they know the struggles that other communities, especially the black communities, have been experiencing. And they came out and started defending the black community. So they told their community that this is not the best time that you should start asking the black community for help, and yet you have been so racist towards the black people. You have been so disrespectful towards the black people. So the first thing that should start is you should start showing respect towards the black people. The denial of racism while practicing it openly is the main reason as to why the problems usually persist. For instance, some of the Cubans, they always start laughing at black faces. They always start using the N word in front of the black people and start saying that, you know what? We are so comfortable using the N word because we are not white people. Like, I watched that video of some Cubans and also Latinos using the N word, and they proudly said it loudly that you guys are that word and we are so comfortable to use it because we are not white people. So there is no offense there. This is where the problem really persists. Then again, some of the Cuban activists, they always come online and start saying that the black problems are exaggerated and that the black people always like playing victim and that they need to work hard. If you want somebody to help you, and after saying all these towards a person, do you think these people or that person will be at a position of helping you? And the fact that some of the Cubans and Latinos right now are coming out and admitting the fact that there has been racism and anti-blackness that has existed within their communities should be a lesson to all the Latinos, all the Cubans. And also, before they vote, they should always be doing research that what if we vote this person right now? What will be the consequences later on? How will it affect us? Or will this person favor us? Because you saw what happened during the LA ICE raids. You saw how the Cubans were really in tears that they are going to get deported, and they were even questioning other communities the reason as why they are not getting deported. Then again, some of the Latinos, they just came out and started saying that yes, we are getting deported right now, but after us it's the black community who are going to get deported next. That obviously tells you that these Latinos and also some Cubans really don't know the black history. They really don't know the origin of the black people in the United States. So, guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you agree that there has been anti-blackness within the Latino community? Have you ever faced any within uh, the community or at workplace or anywhere as a black person or as an Afro? Have you ever experienced racism? Have you ever been racially profiled by a Cuban or maybe a Latino? And if you are Afro watching this video, is there segregation in Miami between the Cuban communities, especially between the Afros and also the white ones? Let me know in the comment section. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your massive love and support. Let's keep the conversation going, and also let's keep the comments respectful. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm your presenter, Judy. Until next time, let's meet on my next episode.